Did you know that high blood pressure, high cholesterol, stubborn weight, pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, even fatigue and low mood are often symptoms of the same hidden cause? And did you know that because all of these share a root cause, they can often be improved or even reversed using the same method? So imagine getting a different tablet for each problem. There's a better, faster and more effective way to tackle them all at once. Most people are told to treat each health issue separately. One medication for blood pressure, another for cholesterol, another for blood sugar, and so on. But what if the real breakthrough is realizing that you don't need a different fix for every symptom? What if there's a single, science-backed approach that could help you transform your health from the ground up? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this approach is, why it works, and how you can start using it today. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by juggling multiple health problems or frustrated that nothing ever seems to truly work, you're about to discover a completely different way forward, one that puts you back in control. So I'm going to show you why most of the advice out there keeps you stuck just managing symptoms rather than actually solving the problem. The real root cause that quietly links so many of these frustrating health issues together, and the 3 practical stages you can follow to finally break free from the cycle of endless prescriptions and constant disappointment. And most importantly, of course, what you can start doing today to move your health forward without waiting for another appointment or a new prescription. So if you've ever felt like you're collecting diagnoses, especially blood pressure, cholesterol, your weight, your blood sugar, you're really not alone. After years as an NHS GP, I can tell you that most people I see in my surgery are juggling several health problems at once, often feeling overwhelmed and frustrated that nothing ever seems to truly work. But here's something almost nobody's talking about. They aren't separate problems. They're all connected by a single hidden root cause. So what if, instead of fighting each issue with a new tablet or diet, you could address the one thing that's quietly driving them all? That's what I call a breakthrough. And that's what this video is about. The real root cause behind so many chronic health problems is something called insulin resistance. This is when your body becomes less responsive to the hormone insulin, which is meant to keep your blood sugar in check. Over time, your pancreas has to work harder and harder, pumping out more insulin to keep up. Eventually, it gets overwhelmed, leading to high blood glucose, weight gain, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, inflammation, tiredness, fatigue, and more. But here's what I really want you to hear. There is not a single tablet that can treat this root cause. No prescription, no quick fix, no combination of medication will ever truly address what's driving all of these issues beneath the surface. The best, most effective way to treat insulin resistance is through a lifestyle change. And the most powerful tool you have? The food you put on your plate. When you use food as medicine, choosing meals that support your body instead of working against it, you can achieve results that no tablet can match. I've seen it again and again in my clinic. When people focus on the right foods, not only do their blood glucose improve, but their blood pressure, cholesterol, weight, and even mood often follow. In fact, it's not unusual for me to take people off 3, sometimes 4 different medications, because food, when used wisely, can do a way better job than any prescription. That is a real breakthrough. Because you're addressing the root cause with lifestyle and nutrition, you're not just managing symptoms, you're actually giving your body the chance to heal and to thrive. And you might be thinking, but I've tried diets before and they've never worked for me. I lost a bit of weight, maybe my blood glucose improved for a while, but it never lasted. What's going to be different this time? And that is such a common and completely understandable feeling. We've all been there. And it's not that we haven't tried hard enough or that you're destined to struggle. The truth is that most people have only ever been taught part of the story and the wrong strategy altogether. So here's the mistake. Most diets focus on cutting calories and not carbs. So you end up hungry, frustrated, and your blood sugar still goes up and down all day long. Most advice is vague or relies on willpower alone. So just saying no to sugar, which leaves you feeling like a failure when cravings inevitably win out. Medications can help manage your numbers, but they really reduce the underlying workload on your pancreas. They treat symptoms, not the real cause. So if you've ever tried before and it didn't work, it's not because you failed. It's because you were never given a method that truly targets what's driving your diabetes or weight gain in the first place. And in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through the 3 key steps I advise in clinic, the exact approach that's helped so many people move from feeling stuck to seeing real, lasting results. But firstly, you might be wondering, why has my doctor told me this? Why have I never heard about insulin resistance before? And if I'm completely honest, one reason doctors don't mention insulin resistance is because there is no pill for it. We're trained to see each problem, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, as separate entities, each with its own medication. The idea that there's a single root cause and that you can tackle it with lifestyle doesn't fit neatly into our usual way of thinking or prescribing. But actually, even if insulin resistance isn't mentioned, the solution, weight loss, is almost always there. In fact, every set of medical guidelines, whether it's for diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart attacks, fatty liver, lists weight loss and lifestyle change as the number 1 treatment. But here's the problem, is that there's no time, tools or training for doctors to coach you through it. Dietitians are stretched thin with long waiting lists, and the advice is often outdated or focused on calorie counting, which rarely works long term. I became so frustrated watching people come back every year with a longer list of medication and no real improvement. That's why I started to question everything I'd been taught about weight loss and chronic disease. Because I took a step back, I started researching, learning from real people, and trying new approaches outside of those rushed 10-minute appointments. So now I'm going to share with you what actually works. Everything comes directly actually from my Health Breakthrough video series, which is a free 3-part journey I've created after seeing people in this situation, confused, unsupported by the usual advice. So this series is groundbreaking, and I'd love for you to watch it because it goes far beyond eat less, move more, and finally explains step by step how to address the real cause of type 2 diabetes and stubborn health struggles. So let's get specific. Phase 1 is understanding insulin resistance and using food as medicine. Did you know that a single slice of white bread is the equivalent of eating about 5 teaspoons of sugar? And even if you swap to brown bread for the extra fibre, it still has almost the same effect on your blood sugar as the white one does. That means every time you reach for bread, pasta, rice or potatoes, your pancreas is working overtime to keep your blood sugar in check. So what could really work for you is to swap out those high carb foods for real whole foods that help your pancreas rest and recover. Think eggs and spinach for breakfast, or a salad with chicken and olive oil for lunch. Every time you make a swap, you're not just being healthy, you're directly lowering the demand on your pancreas and starting to reverse insulin resistance. So if you want to see the full list of foods, easy swaps and the science behind why this works, that's all laid out in the first part of this Health Breakthrough video series. Food is just the beginning. The second phase is about your whole lifestyle, because your hormones play a huge role in whether your body can heal. So did you know, for example, that poor sleep raises ghrelin, your hunger hormone, and lowers leptin, your fullness hormone, making you crave carbs and sugar the next day? Stress ramps up your cortisol, which raises your blood sugar, even if you haven't eaten a thing. Even small amounts of movement, like a 10-minute walk after meals, can make your cells more sensitive to insulin, which is why it's so important to prioritise all of these things: a sleep schedule, a wind-down routine, daily stress-busting activities, even if it's 5 minutes of deep breathing, and of course, walking about. And then phase 3, mindset, the real reason most plans fail. Let's talk about this. This is something that almost nobody addresses. Your mindset and emotional triggers. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to reach for food when you're tired, lonely or bored? We're told to use willpower, but the truth is willpower disappears when you're running on empty emotionally. Emotional eating isn't about hunger, it's about comfort, stress or habit. The real breakthrough comes when you start noticing your patterns and planning for real life, not just aiming for perfection. I do help people with their emotional eating cycles, building habits that last, which is the third part of this video series. It is all about mindset and self-sabotage and how you can finally break free. So if any of this is new to you, or if you want to see exactly how to put it all into action, the Health Breakthrough video series is your next step. So click the link below to get started. It is free, practical, and you'll get the facts, the science, the step-by-step guide to make it happen. So I'll see you there.